Hello YouTube, I'm much closer this time. I don't know if the microphone is going to make a weird annoying noise it did yesterday. I unplugged and replugged it in, which solves most problems, so it should solve this problem, right? Going into this video, I really don't know what I want to talk about. Actually, you know what? I do know what I want to talk about. I want to talk about how the internet has made us all more connected, and yet we're all more alone in a lot of ways. So, when I was growing up, the internet was this huge thing of promise. It was connecting the world. It had games. You know, I played Neopets when I was a little kid, and it was awesome. And that internet has gone away largely. And I wish it would come back. Man, I wish it would come back. The internet that I grew up on was an internet of forums and niche communities and groups of people who were there because they didn't fit in everywhere else, but on the internet they could fit in, and they could find people to talk to about the things they cared about. The problem is the internet has gone away from any of this, and I think that was a somewhat gradual decline. And I think a lot of it has to do with money, as all things do. The internet, when I was growing up, you talked to people on forums. You became part of a tight-knit group, and that group was accepting of new people because a post by anyone could be seen by everyone. And things have changed. Link aggregator sites, particularly Reddit, have really taken over a lot of that community thing, and I don't necessarily think they're better. The thing is, Reddit gives you the promise of everyone seeing what you're talking about, but really, most people won't see what you're talking about. Most people don't have accounts, and they're not hitting the new tab on a subreddit. They're not seeing the new post. They're just looking at the front page. They're looking at the popular post. Well, popularity is not fair. We all know that. We all live in the real world. The problem is that real world attitude has moved into the world of the internet, and it really sucks. I mean, that's true everywhere. YouTube creators who have existed for a decade with millions of subscribers talk about how the algorithms and the communities on YouTube aren't what they used to be, and people talk about that same thing on Reddit. Actually, what's really interesting is people have done analysis to show that really popular Redditors, people who already have gotten lots of really big posts, very easily get more big posts. And the fact is, a lot of them aren't creating content at all. They're just posting content. A lot of the times because they come up with a slightly more clever title, which that's a skill, I'll give it to them, but they're not creating content. And often they're getting far more accolades than the content creators do. So it's not great. The way I liken the internet of today, or let me step back. The way that I would describe the internet of olden times was, it was a town square, and you could walk in and walk up to a group of people and start talking to them, and they'd accept you, and you'd talk to them, and then maybe you'd leave and talk to a different group of people in the town square. Now, the town square is packed full of people, hundreds of times more than there ever were in the past, but all of these people are facing one stage and listening to one or two popular voices who shout out to everyone, and everyone else just listens, and if anyone small in the crowd tries to talk, they're just ignored. I think that's the internet of today. It's not accepting of new people. It's just another platform for the rich and the powerful to shout at the masses, and it just silences anyone who isn't.